Everything's fine when you play at home or at the band rehearsal. But as soon as there's a gig ahead, no matter if you're making a live stream or playing in a club, you're getting nervous. When you're standing in front of an audience, you can't think straight and your hands get shaky. Sounds familiar? Many musicians struggle with stage fright. I am one of them. Even experienced artists admitted that they do so. And this is normal and even good to some degree, but it shouldn't paralyze you completely. Today, I want to give you some advice how to deal with your anxiety on stage. Hi, this is Svenja, and these are my tips to deal with stage fright. You should know the songs you're playing inside out before the gig. If not, it's about time that you sit down and practice until your fingers are bleeding. It was always a big help for me on stage when my hands and fingers knew what they had to do, or when I could trust my muscle memory, respectively. This automatism helps you playing accurately even when you're totally nervous. Therefore, I always play every song at least 10 times before the gig, even if I played it like a dozen times in the rehearsals already. I also work on tricky parts again and practice them separately. I always start with all of this at least 3 to 4 weeks before the gig. During my preparation, I also play through the set list several times in exact the order of the songs I will play at the gig. I do this like 2 to 3 times a week. When you're confident with the set, you're definitely less nervous on stage. Of course, it's always possible that there's a change of plan. One song is getting cut off the set for time reasons, or the order is getting changed shortly before you enter the stage. But it's way easier for you to deal with this when you're well prepared. I already heard people say that you shouldn't practice everything over and over again, because then you don't feel what you play anymore. But honestly, when the strongest feeling on stage is anxiety, you can't be in the moment anyway. So do what helps you to prepare for a gig. When you're playing in front of an audience, you don't want to make mistakes. So you rather watch your hands and fingers all the time and always keep an eye on the frets of your guitar instead of moving too much. Most probably you will only make a few mistakes then, but your listeners will be really bored. When you're a musician, you're also a performer, especially when you're the guitarist or singer of the band. When you aren't a stage hog, you have to practice moving around on stage too. I always struggled with performance and often stood in exactly the same place during the whole concert. But it helped me a lot to think on some kind of choreography and practices before the gig. I always move in a way that's natural to me or that fits to the song and get confident with this so that I can perform on stage. Nothing's more stressful than packing and looking for your stuff shortly before you have to go to the location you're playing in. Then you will probably get panicky before you even enter the stage. Rather, pack your stuff the evening before the gig, take your time, change the strings of your guitar if necessary, and most importantly, change the batteries in all your pedals you're using on stage. Even the one in your guitar if it has active pickups. No matter if you just changed the batteries, you will feel better if there are fresh ones in all of your devices. Because changing batteries on stage takes too much time and drives you crazy. And if you suddenly don't get any sound out of your amp anymore, you will first have to find out what the problem is. So avoid technical issues as much as possible and be prepared. On the day of the gig, before you drive to the venue, you should take it slow. Sleep late, prepare a meal, watch some episodes of your favorite series or do something else to relax. you will get excited early enough, so don't worry before that. Admittedly, this can be difficult to realize when you're on tour and play show after show. But even then, you should find a way to relax for a few hours before you go on stage. It's also helpful when you know where you're playing. Sure, you know the name of the venue, but do you also know how the stage looks like? If possible, I like to search for pics or watch videos of the location on the internet before the gig, preferably of concerts that took place there. Since I'm night blind, I always need to know how the lights are on stage or if I need to bring additional lighting. But anyway, the location seems more familiar and I feel more comfortable after watching videos and pictures. An additional advice: if you need special lighting or equipment, try to talk to the techs of the location before the gig. Being honest and talking about everything in advance makes it easier for everyone who's involved. If there's a backstage area, use it and warm up. Play your favorite warm-up exercises or songs, the songs you're about to play, or something else that feels good and helps you. Take your time to get in the mood and pumped to play. Stretching your muscles is also important, because warm and relaxed muscles feel a lot better. Remember to not only stretch your fingers, wrists and forearms, but also your shoulders, neck and back. Then moving around on stage is a lot easier and you won't get a stiff neck from headbanging. While preparing and on stage, you should always remember, don't be afraid of mistakes. They will happen anyway. And that's okay, because it's human. Nobody's perfect, right? At last, the big difference between YouTube and playing live is that your audience can't go back and watch or hear different parts again, so they won't notice when you hit a wrong note. Of course, this is no excuse for being lazy and don't practicing at all, so do your best. Then your gig will be awesome, for sure. I know, a video about stage fright seems kinda redundant in times like these, without live shows due to COVID and stuff. But there are better days ahead, for sure, and then there will be concerts again. The survey in Spain showed that it would be possible right now. Anyway, you've got plenty of time to prepare for your next gig, don't you? I will leave the stage for today, but before I do, please don't forget to hit the like and the subscribe button. You can watch an extended version of this video with 2 additional tips on Patreon. Just visit my profile and become part of the community. You'll find the link in the description below. We'll see us in the next video. Until then, keep moving.